Well, we're kicking off the Sports Fix with an absolute bang today, and as will this man, my next guest, be kicking plenty of goals, hopefully, for Norwood in the upcoming 2022 SANFL season. It's Declan Hamilton, the former Western Bulldogs Premiership player in the AFL, now currently a star at the Norwood Footy Club. How are you, Declan?
No, I'm going well. Thanks for having me.
Great to have you on. Now, a third-place finish for the Redlegs back in 2021, knocked out in the first semi-final last year. How's the side tracking ahead of the 2022 season, obviously wanting to go one better than last year?
Yeah, definitely. I think, obviously, Twig came in for his first year last year and changed a lot of things about our footy program. And I think having 12 months of that sort of footy holds us in really good stead moving forward. And I think we've had a big list change across the summer. Lost a lot of old experienced players, but the players that were brought in to complement what we already had with a young and growing list, I think that we're in a really good spot heading forward into what 2022 could look like for the Norwood Footy Club.
And just for our listeners, some of them might not be listening out of SA. Talk to us about what kind of player you are.
So traditionally, I've sort of been a half-forward winger who sort of looked to play in the forward half, but about halfway through last year, me and Twig had a decision and a conversation, and I ended up going down back and playing down back. So I trained all summer sort of as a half-back running defender. And that's where I'll play for probably the 2022 season. So, yeah, looking forward to it.
Yes, absolutely. But we'll get back onto Norwood in a minute, but let's just go back to all things AFL. Obviously, you did play for the Bulldogs for 3 or 4 seasons, which is a very impressive accolade to have on your CV. Now, your former side, they were very impressive back in 2021. So, who's your tip for a strong finish in 2022?
I think they'll be hard to beat once again. I think those sort of, I'm not going to, say anything outrageous here, but those sort of top 4 sides from last year, Melbourne and the Dogs and Geelong and Brizzy and Port Adelaide are probably the 4 or 5 sides that are going to be around the mark again. So, I still love the Dogs, so I'm hoping that the Dogs can go one better this year.
I'm sure you are, and it's funny you say that as well, because our guest yesterday that was talking all things AFL made the exact same top 4 predictions. We'll look at your time in the AFL now. You were drafted with pick number 39 back in 2014 of the NAB AFL draft. Prior to being drafted, 58 VFL games over 3 seasons, averaging 16 disposals per game and kicking 40 goals. Pretty impressive stuff there. Just talk to us about what it was like leading into that draft period, and then obviously the elation of being drafted and ticking something off that so many other players within your circles obviously aspire to get to a certain level that you can say you've obviously been at and really had an amazing experience in doing so. So take us back to that time.
Yeah, so it's a long time ago now, probably coming on 8 or so years ago since I've been drafted. But yeah, playing footy, it's every boy's dream to get drafted, and I was very fortunate to have the opportunity in for those 3 years at the Dog. They're the years that, I learned so much about my footy, but also about the sort of person that I am and moving away from home. So it was a great journey. It obviously didn't end up the way that I wanted to, and being delisted, but I'm very grateful for that opportunity that I had for those 3 years, and I'm very lucky that I've also now ended up at a really good footy club in Norwood, which I'm thrilled that I've been able to play for the last 4 years.
You most certainly have. A revered club across Australia are the Redlegs. Now, 2016, a real fairy tale season, particularly for those who are Western Bulldogs fans. Obviously, winning the 2016 AFL Premiership, you were very much at the heart of it around the club at the time. So talk to us about, how spectacular this experience would have been.
Yeah, obviously our drought was pretty well known and talked about throughout the year, and we were sort of rode off quite a few times throughout the year. We were very banged up, and a lot of plays were carried around a lot of niggles through a lot of the year, and even going into that first final against West Coast, elimination final at Subi against West Coast, it was just thought that we'd go over and get done, but the way that the boys went over and galvanised over there, and from that moment really, it almost felt that we were never going to lose it. I was fortunate enough to play in the VFL flag the week before, so in the space of 6 days we'd won a VFL flag, won an AFL flag, so it was a really special time at the club, and it's one that I'm sure when I'm finished playing footy, to say that I was an 8-league premiership player at 20 is something that I'm very grateful for, and it's still what drives me these days to win a SANFL one for the Redlegs.
Declan, I'm sure it was a an absolutely fantastic time for you, but unfortunately as an Eagles fan, I recall that day very, very well, and I'd never been more confident of getting up. I remember coming home from uni, I had my Eagles top on, and I thought this would be business as usual, and your mob absolutely rolled us at the end of the day. But now you were very much a part of things on the field in the background here in 2016, playing for Footscray's side in the VFL. So talk to us about obviously, pretty much experiencing a dual premiership winning season here.
I guess that's really special when sort of basically every player on the list can walk away from the season be saying that they're a premiership player. So obviously there was the 22 at AFL level and another sort of 10 or 15 of us that played in the VFL Premiership. So it's something that was very special and something that I'm sure all of us will cherish doing the double when our careers are done.
And just, if you can, just briefly talk to us about your junior footy, the clubs you played for, and the earliest memory you have of growing a love and an affinity for this game.
So we lived in Darwin in my sort of early years, and the first sort of memory of footy was going down to Waratah's Oval up in Darwin and watching the NTFL with my old man. So that was when I was about 5 and 6, and then moved back down to Adelaide to be close with family again. So played at the Gazers Footy Club out in the northeast, also at the Pracker Footy Club in the north of Adelaide, before moving to the Port Adelaide Magpies and going through the 15s, 16s and 18s there as part of just the zones that you play for, that you're zoned to where you live. And then was lucky enough in 2014 to play some reserves footy and then get drafted off the back of some reserves footy and some stay under 18 footy. So that was sort of my journey pre-AFL, and obviously since I've transitioned on to play for the Legs for the last 4 years.
Great stuff. And just as we are on the home stretch here, speaking with Declan Hamilton, the former Bulldogs Premiership player and the current star at the Norwood Redlegs. Speaking about Norwood, obviously fans, they pack into the Coopers Oval there at Norwood. So talk to us about the kind of, I guess, brand that they should be expecting from your mob. And I understand that, I guess, making your home venue a fortress was a problem last year. So you're looking to right that wrong?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I think most people in South Australian footy will know that playing at Norwood is a really tough place to go, and traditionally it's been a really tough place to go. And that's something that us as a footy club try and do. We try and make the parade a really scary and intimidating place to go. So we'll play an aggressive brand of footy again this year, like we did under Twig last year. We'll value the contest, and we'll try and be a really hard and combative side to play against and score against. So I'm hoping that we can win a few more of those tight ones at home this year, and yeah, it'd be really good to get those home wins. A lot of the away wins, and then put ourselves in a position to play final footy.
Declan Hamilton, the former Bulldogs player in the AFL, now a very important part of the Norwood Redlegs' premiership assault in 2022 in the SANFL. Everyone here at Flow FM wishes you and the side the very best of success in 2022, and thank you so much for joining us on the Sports Fix.
Thanks for having us. Have a good day.
Great stuff there, ladies and gentlemen. Don't go away. We've got Bruce from the Speedway chat in our regular segment coming up right after this.